Today, we are going to go through, we haven't done a lot tailored towards the strategic partnerships and using Art of Homeownership to not only generate those partnerships, but nurture them long-term and just make sure you're continuing to add value to them and their clients. So we have Zach, the one and only Zach Cusac, who is going to be running through with us today how to use social media to generate those partnerships and connect with people who you might want to connect with, and then specifically LinkedIn and kind of some strategy around that and how to use it. So if you have questions, dump them in the chat or the Q&A as we go. We'll address them at some point. And Zach, I will toss it over to you.
Awesome. Am I able to share my screen? Let's go here.
You should be able to.
Okay, there we go. All right, yeah, so just the big focus today is I want to talk about, alternative strategic partners. I think a big, in today's market, rising rates, it's really all about purchase opportunities. What we're seeing currently is, how can you go after, these alternative channels, whether it's financial advisor, corporations, builders, even realtors. One of the things that I'm seeing a lot of success with is on LinkedIn. So as we know, Facebook changed their targeting profile, about a year ago in terms of how a little over a year ago, in terms of how you can, you can target certain professionals based on their job titles. Well, fortunate thing with LinkedIn is when you create your LinkedIn profile, it's all based on where you work. It's your professional network. It's your professional profile. So one of the things that we're really recommending is like going after these alternative partners, driving new connections, driving new opportunities, but really taking LinkedIn to that next level. If you're creating content and you're sharing it on Facebook, sharing it on Instagram, we want to be driving more conversations on these other channels and part of the value prop. So when you're going after a financial advisor, one of the things that you can explain to a financial advisor is, hey, home values have risen significantly now. Does it make sense for clients to, to pull some of that cash out and reinvest it in other channels? Being able to target clients, financial advisors, clients for equity analysis reviews. When you're going after, these other audiences, think about, what's in it for them. What's the message that is in it for them? And I think, the value prop that you're going to is you want to present to these financial advisors, CPAs, trust attorneys, is that we want to help your clients create wealth through real estate. We want to provide them with solutions that allows them to manage and maintain their home. And LinkedIn, you can get super granular in how you are trying to target these individuals. I use a tool called Sales Connector, and what it allows me to do is to create searches based off of certain job titles. So say I wanted to go after trust attorneys. I can create a search of only trust attorneys, and I can target in specific locations. So say I want to generate, meetings with these financial advisors. What Sales Connector allows me to do is it allows me to it's essentially a software that will connects with my LinkedIn profile, and it sends out invites as if it was a real person. So I'm logged in through Sales Connector and through their network, and the way that it operates as a software is it sends out invites like 7 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour later, 2 hours later. You can send out about 150 to 200 connections a week. And the reason that Microsoft and LinkedIn, the way that they do this is, they don't want you spamming people. They don't want you coming on here and just, add, or rather connect. And what this software allows you to do is to connect with people in a natural path. And when your contacts accept the connections, you can trigger automation and conversations. So like the way that I would phrase it, it's like, hey, thanks so much for connecting. How's 2022 shaping up for you? In these different conversations, really what we want to push to these, financial advisors or trust attorneys is we want to provide this solution to your clients at no cost for you. And the way that I propose it to them is, hey, I'd love for you to sign up. Are you a homeowner? I'd love for you to sign up and use the tools as a homeowner and see how this system works for you. like doing an annual, financial review for them so that they can see, how you're able to generate referrals with your database and be able to pass them referrals, showing them the relocation technology and how that would benefit their clients. Just being able to leverage, and display the monthly wealth digest, and being able to show them how much equity they have in their home. And I would speak to, the financial advisors. That's like, how can we create a conversation with your clients to get them to use that equity, whether it's, and being able to help them with a cash out refi to be able to drive some opportunities there. Maybe they're looking to buy an investment property. So there's, a referral that, when you're speaking to, your agent partners, there's opportunities to drive conversations through that. The thing that I like the most is being able to go after corporations in your local market. Put together a list of 10 companies that you'd like to do business with. And really what you want to think about is companies, it's the 50 to 200 employee size where they have a true HR department and they've got someone who's responsible for kind of day-to-day operations within HR and their team. And I would reach out to those individuals and say, hey, I want to provide you with this, this solution. And it's a solution that you can empower your employees with. We want to help your employees become homeowners and we want to help them create wealth through real estate. But this is a solution that you can deliver to your, to your individual partners and to your individual employees, and something that you provide for them. And when you think about it, it's like how you're initiating the partnerships. So it's using social. So whether that's, it's using LinkedIn to be able to drive this. Something that I've done and a tool that I use frequently to build lists. It's a tool called Upwork. So this is like, you could hire a VA overseas, and it's not loading right now. Usually does work, but is being able to hire a VA overseas and have them, build a list, build a data list, of people that you're trying to shake loose and do business with. And this is something where you could pay them 10 cents a record and you can go find, the names, emails, cell phone numbers of, these financial advisors, CPAs, HR directors, if you want to do some outreach that way. And when you think of like your first meeting and, how you're trying to pitch it, it really comes down to, showing your partners the value that they can utilize. But I would really emphasize, getting them signed up on the tools. When they're signed up on the tools, they can see the experience, get them a quick win with their monthly wealth digest, get them added to that. I think the relocation technology is something it's cool how, just the easiness of updating your addresses and preparing for that sort of stuff. So I like being able to present that. Another thing that you want to think about is, as you're connecting with these people on social, any video that you're creating, maybe you're doing a bomb video that you're pushing out to your clients, or you've created a video that you're pushing out on Facebook, make sure you're repurposing that content. These are things that you could take that video and just starting to engage and push more information out on LinkedIn, so that you're, the audience that you're building and this network that you're connecting with is really starting to drive, more awareness around what you're doing. And I think that really that comes down to the point of like how to keep your partners engaged. As you're out and you're starting to meet and drive these new relationships, you got to continue to stay in front of them. Social is a great way to do so. Email is a great way to do so. Making sure that you add them, as a closed client or a client to your AOH campaign, so they can see what the experience is like for their borrowers. But it's really, we need to be driving new relationships. We need to be driving opportunities with people that can shake loose referrals and consistent referrals, not a lead gen campaign where it's like, you're calling 10, 12 times to get an application and trying to pound the phones to get opportunities, but rather going after these referral sources, going after these referral channels that can shake loose consistent flow of deals. And part of the value too is, when you go to these financial advisors, if they're like, what's in it for me? Is you say, well, I hold and I conduct, annual financial reviews of my clients to review not just their real estate, but their overall financial picture. And when I'm asking people, do they have a retirement plan? Do they have are they utilizing an IRA or 401k? What are their plans from that standpoint? Do they, how are they tax planning? Do they need life insurance? Like all of these alternative strategic partners, you've got a path to generate opportunities and referrals for them. And that's part of, the way that you want to keep them engaged is you're saying, look, this is how I'm going to add value to your business. And I'm looking for a strategic partner in your area that we can connect and grow together. And using LinkedIn as kind of that outreach channel, that source that you can use to shake loose meetings and shake loose, new deals and ultimately just be able to drive conversations. LinkedIn is great for that. And the way that, I have it structured is I run these campaigns, I connect with, our target audience, and then I'm able to, use my Calendly link and the scripting to just drive meetings to my calendar. So you could block out, 2 hours or 2 hours a couple times a week for these sorts of partnership meetings. And using Sales Connector as an automation tool, or I'm happy to kind of talk through some of the workflows and campaigns on how I do it. But ultimately, it's we want to use social. We want to use social to create and maintain strategic partnerships. And being able to drive these sorts of conversations, and think about like the deeper emotional, attachment there. It's like, how is AOH, impacting, the lives of their clients? How is the tools and your experience and emotionally what you're doing? Like, how does that resonate with the people that you're trying to serve? I've always thought that, these financial advisors, CPAs, trust attorneys, they really look at it, and what's most important to them is that you make them look good. And ultimately how you do that is by creating a great client experience for the clients that they're referring you to. And with the tools and systems that you have through AOH, that's definitely something that you can utilize, and you lean into it. You find a financial advisor that's got a database of 1,000 people. If you guys do a webinar and he invites his database, you do a Facebook Live and you add him on Facebook, so his sphere of influence or her sphere of influence, sees it. It's about putting yourself out there with these people and these relationships that you generate. I think that when you have these sorts of conversations, and the more conversations that you're having with people, the more opportunities that you can ultimately drive through that. I do think, when you use and you kind of talk about, video, like let's multi-purpose that. So it's like, if we're going to create a video that, we're trying to speak to financial advisors, let's park that on your website, use that as a blog. Let's email it out to the list that's created. Let's post it on social. It's Val did a great presentation. I'm not sure, I think a couple months back, but just on how to multi-purpose content. And I think that, that strategy of multi-purposing it is really a way for you to keep these partners engaged, because they're continuing to hear from you. You use LinkedIn as a way to get that initial meeting, but you have to stay in front of them. You can add them to your website as a trusted partner. You could drive, conversations and opportunities that way. But I'd also, it's really that kind of consistency, consistency about being able to do it. I know that, I saw Lisa was on here. Like, we have a database and we do some retargeting ads with her database to people and realtor partners. So it's like, there's ways that you can use, ad roll and just different advertising channels to be able to stay in front of these people. And ultimately, the more meetings, more conversations that you can drive with these alternative partners, the more referrals it can generate. And in today's market, rising rates, we need as many people that are out there selling for your business as possible. And using LinkedIn as a great way to be able to target that, and what I would do is I would start with, maybe focus on financial advisors first, or focus on corporations. Like, focus on one channel and do that, and drive conversations and opportunities specifically with those individuals, and figure out, what clients and what referral partners are going to have the biggest database, and who are going to have people that, that they're actively engaged with and speaking with. And so it's if you're using Upwork to build a list, build a list of these target audiences, but connect with them on Facebook too, connect with them on LinkedIn, see, how long have they been in the business for, who are these individuals. These sorts of business development activities are ways that, you can get in front of new consumers, new opportunities. and ultimately just presenting, some of the value that's being delivered there. Val, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I was just going to add that when you're doing outreach on LinkedIn, like if you would go about kind of the process that Zach is talking about, so starting the conversations to really drive the business, you want to make sure that you, number one, have content organically on your profile already. So be putting out videos talking about the value that you create. Because if you would reach out to someone, and kind of the point here is to keep your message consistent. If you would reach out to someone and say, hey, I really like football, I'd like to connect because I see that you like football, and then your first post is, I hate football, you're not going to be a reputable source to them. So it's the same idea when you're putting out content about the value that you're creating for clients. And that should really just be, it's just a matter of being authentic. So putting out your message in a video, talking about how you add value to your clients long term. And you're going to be saying that same message to a financial advisor or a CPA that you're going to partner with, is this is how I help my clients. Just make sure that those messages align. And if you're using LinkedIn specifically for, if your current focus is financial advisors, then keep that in mind when you're creating content. Like, be putting out content that is tailored towards the financial advisor audience and adding value for them. It's going to be even more effective when they go and look at your profile and see that you're consistently putting out content.
Yeah, and I wanted to just kind of bring up when I was talking about, the tool that I use to be able to drive these meetings. So it's like I can create, I create an audience, and people I'm trying to drive new business with, the steps. So like when I talk about like the communication and the communication path and how we drive people there, the stats around it. So like how many connections are going out, how many people are accepting them, they've replied to my messages, they replied to the welcome and other messages. And really, the way that I look at it is this, the way that I'm leveraging LinkedIn and the way that you should be leveraging LinkedIn is just about getting as many opportunities. I'm a sports guy, so forgive the analogy, but getting as many at bats as you can, getting as many practice swings as you can. And that's what Sales Connector does for me, and being able to shake loose, new conversations. And I think in today's market, like you can see here, just meetings booked and, opportunities that have come. This has all been through automation. So I'm creating meetings and opportunities that are working in the background. And then it's, I'm able to just go like, I don't think you can see this pop-up that just came, but I have a discovery call that just, literally just popped up on my screen right now. That's on Friday from this campaign that we're running. And I think everyone needs to, should be looking at like, how can I drive these sorts of conversations? Like there's literally, there's only so much time in the day. So it's like, how can we, be the most effective with the time that you guys have? And that's part of, the way that you should be using social, and the way that you should be, thinking about your stories is like, how can I use social to to do biz dev for me? And how can I use social to drive these sorts of conversations? I'd also look at it, we've been doing a lot of campaigns on Facebook, targeting new realtor partners. So, something to keep in mind there too is, so some of the biggest real estate coaches in the country, the Tom Ferrys, Mike Ferrys of the world, they're telling their agents, hey, be on Facebook, posting daily, sharing content, telling your stories. We've started to run a lot of campaigns on, a lot of campaigns on Facebook that are going after new agent partnerships and being able to present, the value that you're delivering through the art of homeownership. A funnel that we've created recently has been, so we have a video, or we have a loan officer create one video that is talks about their value prop, and why a realtor would want to work with them. The second video that talks about a difficult transaction that you've had with a realtor partner. A difficult transaction that you've had with a client that you were able to close. So like a client was working with another lender, they weren't able to close it. They came to you, you saved the deal, made the agent look like a rock star. And then, a third video is just like a testimonial from an existing partner. And then what we do is we'll also create like 7 to 10 different graphics and some different content around that. We'll use MMI to target. Is everyone on this call familiar with MMI? I have that in the chat. Where's the chat box? Let's see. All right. So yeah, just, MMI is a tool that we leverage to be able to pull transaction volume based off of the productions with the agents, and then creating a list of agents that you're trying to do business with, uploading them into Facebook, and putting that realtor funnel in front of them. It's what it's about is just generating new meetings, generating referral partners, new relationships, new opportunities. And we're seeing that be, super successful in terms of, how you can leverage Facebook to generate new realtor partnerships. That realtor funnel is, what we're seeing is, on average between 8 and 10 new meetings, or strategic partnership meetings per month. So like qualified meetings, these are people that have at least 6 buy-side transactions per year. That's something that we're seeing be really effective as well. We talked a little bit about like Sales Connector and how we're leveraging Sales Connector to drive meetings with, these alternative channels. That's something that's consistent and something that works well. I would really challenge you. I would challenge you to, put yourself out there with these purchase, opportunities. I know throughout the course of the day, you're like, hey, there's only so much time. I'm busy. But going after, relationship and focusing on relationship marketing and strategic partnerships are, when rates go down and everyone's looking to refi again, or, it's just like people are always buying homes. But if you're getting these relationships and you're growing the amount of relationships you have, especially if you're, maybe you're trying to develop a new market, and you need some relationships with agents or financial advisors in that market. There's a lot that you can do from that channel. I would just challenge you guys to take advantage of that and present that. Another thing that I would look at as well is, how you're using content on social, and just the difference, like as you're connecting with people on Facebook, making sure that you're pushing out stories and just content to keep them engaged. But really, LinkedIn, and I know a lot of people are like, it's just one more channel, something I need to tackle, need to take advantage of, but it's who you can go after there. Like, the audience you're trying to target, and people put in their job information, they put in, who they are, and that's really what we want you guys to be able to focus on and be able to shake loose some new opportunities with, and just be able to present the value. I mean, the whole system, the whole concept with the art of homeownership is delivering value before, during, and after a transaction. And when you're doing this and you're communicating with people, communicating with partners, they're hearing from you, they're seeing the value that you're delivering, that's going to drive more referrals, because people are going to feel that sense of confidence in your business and how you take care of their customers. So I really, would challenge each of you guys to be able to leverage that and be able to take advantage of LinkedIn and take advantage of social, using these sorts of strategic partners. I'm happy to, if anyone wants to talk more about, some of the funnel ideas and things that I've shared, I can, just open book how you guys can do that. Sales Connector, how I leverage that and what that might look like for your business. I want to make sure that you guys are growing. You guys are, generating more conversations. You're taking advantage of what's out there. And, with my background in marketing, I've got a ton of ideas there and would love to just be a resource for you.
Thanks, Zach. That was great. Does anyone have any, because I know we've been kind of going over the marketing mindset, kind of going into it, the value of marketing yourself and having an online presence. So does anyone have any initial questions about everything that we went over today as far as LinkedIn specific strategies and going after partners like that? Because I think what Zach said about sharing stories and keeping people engaged, the way that you have to think about social media is really just sharing yourself and who you are, but in a different way. So people do like to do business with people that they know, like, and trust. So the more that you can show who you are, what you really care about, it's just showing that you're a human being, and people will connect with that a lot more. So don't feel like you're being annoying or oversharing. I know I drive this home all the time, but it really is going to help your business, even if it's just showing a little bit of your daily schedule or kind of like slice of life content, your family. People do like to see that stuff. You just don't realize it because you're living it every day. So it seems like it's boring, but I really would urge you all to take advantage of social media as a way to share yourself and who you are, and just tailor that based on the audience that you're trying to target. So even if you are posting on LinkedIn, it doesn't mean that you're being disingenuous by tailoring it just to the financial advisors. It's just about tailoring the message so that it's relevant to them, but it's still who you are and what you preach all the time. So make sure that you're genuine, just be yourself on social media, and good things will come.
Yeah, just to echo what Val said there is be you, be authentic. People do business with you. People do business with people they like and people they trust and people they know. So the more that you share who you are as a person, the more likely they are to relate with you, the more likely they are to refer you and ultimately remember you. I use an example. I posted a picture 2 weeks ago or a month ago, maybe, of like so my son and we were both wearing the same hat. There was like 50 comments, 250 likes. And then I posted a picture a couple days later of me at a work event. And there was like 12 likes and 0 comments. So the point I'm getting at is people like you, and they want to hear from you. They want to know what's going on in your life. So don't be afraid to share.
Yeah, great point. All right, guys. Well, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to support or reach out to Zach directly if you want to set up some time with him. Otherwise, we will see you next week. Thanks for jumping on.
Take care.